let's see how that Nintendo Switch 2 boycott is going. Oh, Nintendo has too many pre-orders and they're not going to be able to make demand. Also, no one can reliably get a Nintendo Switch 2 pre-order. Huh. It's like no one cares about the price or anything because it's going to be an incredible console. So yeah, let's see what's going on with Nintendo because, oh, this has tens of millions of more views than when I last saw it. That is insane. So Nintendo Japan, we have been procuring many materials and proceeding with production in advance so we can deliver the Nintendo Switch 2 to you. On April 2nd, we announced details about the Nintendo Switch 2 and started accepting applications for the lottery sale on the My Nintendo store. As a result, we received an extremely large number of applications, approximately 2.2 million people in Japan alone. So yeah, it turns out the $80 games, not a problem. The game cartridges or whatever is going on, not a problem. The price for Nintendo Switch 2, not a problem. They are well beyond expectations with an impossible amount of pre-orders. So far exceeds expectations, far exceeds the number of Nintendo Switch 2 consoles that can be delivered from the My Nintendo store on June 5th. Therefore, we expect a significant amount of customers will not be selected when the winners are announced. We plan to continue producing and shipping a considerable number of Nintendo Switch 2 units in the future. We apologize for the delay in our ability to meet your expectations. We appreciate your understanding. So the crazy thing going into the Nintendo Switch 2 is that Nintendo knew there was going to be a crazy scalping problem and that they had to procure as many units as possible so as many people could get it at launch. The demand was going to be crazy, and even with the announcement and the prices and everything going on, the demand is well beyond expectation. Alright, but that's just Japan. You know, they got their own exclusive Nintendo Switch because the yen is weak. But they also even make a note that it's like, oh, it's just Japan alone. So we have the pre-orders coming up for May 8th, I believe. So it's going to be interesting to see if Nintendo of America has a follow-up going, yeah, it's going to be the same thing over here. Even with, like, the priority thing, there's not going to be enough Nintendo Switches for everyone because the demand is that high. So now you have to, like, gamble on that retail. That's also crazy. Hayden, was anyone in the world able to pre-order a Switch 2, or is it physically not possible? Going to Munching Orange. So yeah, no page is working, Best Buy not happening, everything's botted, everything's overloaded. You just gotta get really, really lucky. Never mind, Walmart came through, so people are talking about it and all that stuff. Try Target, that worked. Walmart queue opened for some reason like 5 minutes before. So Target and Walmart were the play. Don't know if that's the case anymore. I'm personally taking a huge gamble, and I'm hoping my 8 years of Nintendo Online membership and like thousands of hours of gameplay on the console pull through for me. But yeah, that's the thing. So then Munching Orange was able to get one through Walmart, and then we also have Shady Penguin. Wait a second, like this guy worked for the Pokemon Company. Also, all this stuff was happening last night, like over half a day ago, and even Shady Penguin came in like, hey, let me know if it comes back in stock. Your boy got locked out. So no connections for Shady Penguin to get hooked up with a Nintendo Switch because the demand is that insane. So yeah, the big story here is like, oh, the boycott is going to be a complete failure and completely worthless. And people are mad at me for calling it $450 for a console that's already outdated, $90 for physical copies. This was just like a fake rumor, right? Because I've only seen like $80. I've seen that like, oh, games are available in physical and digital. So that was even more fake news along with the tariff speculation that Nintendo came out and said, no, the price is going to be the same. So if games that don't come close to the quality of games released over 10 years ago is insane. Since the quality of games we're going to have on the Nintendo Switch 2 is impossible on any previous console from Nintendo. Of course, your bum is chilling for Nintendo. Can't wait that Shofu Exposed sequel. Brain rot. Dude just making the video to be an edgelord because who really agrees with your take? I'm just stating facts. That the demand was already obvious. The price is as fair as it gets for a next generation console, especially with what the Nintendo Switch 2 is going to be offering. And the Nintendo Switch is the most successful console Nintendo has ever had. So 150 million units means if we raise the price by 50% and we cut the sales by 30% to compensate for that, that's still 100 million. So the tens of thousands of people that are crying in YouTube comments or the hundreds of thousands of views, that's less than 1%. There's also just incomprehensibly stupid people out there. I'm not worried about the console price. I'm worried about every game, studio-wise, across the board are going to start $80 for incomplete half-made games for a full game price. So if you have people like, oh, Nintendo made it 80, so everyone else is going to follow. No, Nintendo made it 80 because everyone else is already going to be doing $80 games no matter what. Then there's also rumors of like, oh yeah, GTA 6, $90, $100. So there's also the world that the next gen for Xbox and PlayStation, they could even be higher than that. Nintendo, they are the first to do next gen, so the prices are going to reflect that, especially because we've already seen objectively higher quality games and different tiers of game pricing. That the Donkey Kong game isn't as much as Mario Kart World, but Mario Kart World has more content than Mario Kart 8. And then people are extra stupid because, wait, Mario Kart 8 with DLC, that's $80. And then we have Breath of the Wild with DLC, that's $80, but adjusted for inflation, that's already over $100. And we're going to get more content with the double pack, or like the Nintendo Switch 2 version. So what we've already seen is that, at minimum, the Nintendo Switch 2 versions of Nintendo Switch games are just DLC. So it's priced at $60 Switch game with $20 DLC. And then all the new titles have more content than possible on the Switch because of the power of the Switch 2. So the price is as fair as it gets. And then I've banned like 100 comments of people saying I'm in the minority when they're the one on a few 100,000 view YouTube video compared to a console that sold over 100 million. Sure thing, buddy. And then the rest is stuff I covered in my previous video about how, like, oh, the tariffs actually didn't matter, everyone was just kind of going crazy because of being terminally online, and then when you, like, adjust things for inflation, even then, like, people say, oh, but wages haven't kept up with inflation. But then, even comparing wage growth for older console prices, or like the oldest console prices, nah, never mind, it's still fine. So, okay, a Nintendo 64 game was $110 adjusted for inflation. Well, now the modern game is $80. That keeps up with wage growth, and we have 1,000 times more powerful console with a game that has much more content and then 1,000 times more fidelity. Okay, we're just getting a better luxury good for a price that's fair and keeping up with the times. But yeah, there we go. Everyone falling for the boycott or thinking that they actually have an impact with something like Nintendo Switch 2? They were wrong. Who could have guessed? Oh wait, me. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.